On this episode of RevTalks, we're joined by Edwin and Eaton, founder of iPro Building Services and Cinch Janitorial Software. How are you doing today, Edwin?
Good. I'm good. How are you, Mason?
I'm doing great. Well, thanks for being here. So can you give us a high-level overview of what you're building?
Yes. Just a quick backstory on me. I've been in the commercial cleaning industry for a little over 20 years now. It's kind of a funny story. My college roommate's uncle owned a janitorial company and said he called us one night and said, "Hey, had a couple cleaners quit in your area by the university you're going to. Would you guys clean a couple banks for me till I can find some new cleaners?" And we both said absolutely not. But we were college students and he was speaking our language and he said he would pay us in beer money. Oh, we said absolutely, we'll do it. And so we held the fort down for about a month or so, cleaning 4 banks. He said, someday you're going to come back and work for me. Said, absolutely not. We're getting our degrees in something else, but appreciate it. We're good. Well, fast forward a few years later, I had to move back to my hometown. I went to school for hospitality and hotels. There weren't any hotels in the big city. I was making good money. There weren't any hotels in my city that where I could make the same amount of money. So I thought, you know what? Clean some banks. Maybe I could start a janitorial company, see how that goes. Long story short, we started it. It started a boom. Next thing you know, I'm helping other commercial cleaning business owners doing consulting. And then that just led into where I'm at now with software, with Cinch janitorial software, helping other cleaning business owners with the pain points that they're dealing with in the commercial cleaning space.
Awesome. So you're kind of like in that position where you're finding the people that where you were when you were back in college. So you kind of took that experience from when you were in school and it actually snowballed into something much bigger because you went on to create your own commercial cleaning company. And now you've built an entire software solution around the problems that these commercial cleaning companies are experiencing.
Exactly. It's almost an ecosystem that I've built and on accident, not by choice. It just kind of, we're on a podcast here. The very first podcast I was on, people saw that in the commercial cleaning world and started reaching out to me. Hey, can we hire you? Can you work with us? And then that worked. And then they were asking me, what kind of software do you use? So I was sending them to the different types of softwares. They would come back and say, well, this doesn't work. What do you use? And I had already started developing Cinch, didn't want to pass it out to the masses, but I thought, well, maybe there's an opportunity there. And as soon as I put it out, people started signing up for it. And I thought, well, okay, we might as well help everybody else that's struggling because I've been down that path myself.
Awesome. And so you also went from a Coca-Cola account executive to building three-time incorporated 5,000 janitorial companies out of Wintagee. So how did that start?
Yeah, pretty crazy. I always tell people, all the jobs that you've had throughout your life, whether that's, starting in high school and then all the way to where you currently are at, I think you learn a little bit of something from each one of those jobs. And I think, in high school, it was working with Sears. Maybe I'm dating myself here by saying Sears, but back in the day, yes. And, I learned customer service and I learned the true meaning of it. And I think that's something that's a lost art right now is customer service. So we learned that through Coca-Cola and other places, it was learning sales, and customer service and sales kind of go hand in hand. And I tell people I think it's whatever industry you're in. For me, it's commercial cleaning, but I'm not in the cleaning industry. I'm in the relationship building industry. And that's how you build your company. And yeah, you can see those awards back there. Pretty cool. Inc. 5000, which means my commercial cleaning company was one of the 5,000 fastest growing independently owned businesses in the nation. So not commercial cleaning, but businesses in general. And so this year, actually, we made it our 4th year in a row, which is a pretty cool feat, especially given I'm in an area of only 50,000 people as my population. And so we've had to really expand into other areas. But yeah, it's just amazing to see working from Sears in high school and just gaining all this experience to get to where I'm at today.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it sounds like over the years, you've kind of taken the experience from every different opportunity that you've had and kind of leveraged that experience in and put it all into what you're building today.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to. There's a lot of people, I think, in this space that are tech people. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a tech guy by any means, but they're all tech and they haven't been in the trenches. And I'm a guy that's still in the trenches and also learning tech. And so taking kind of the best of both worlds and knowing right now what's needed out there currently and putting that into the system.
So you spoke briefly about relationships, and you also say that the industry has a 200% turnover rate, but your people stay for 7, 9, 11 years. So what is it that you're doing so differently?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. A lot of people in the industry kind of call me a culture guy. And I used to think, because we do a lot of data centers. And you go into these data centers and people are riding around on electric scooters and there's Pac-Man video games and just all these cool things. And I think a lot of people think that that's company culture. You put all these cool gadgets in there and people are going to stay. That's not the case. I did that. I've got gaming machines in my office. I have a drink station, cooler. I've got snacks. We do all that. We have a basketball hoop, but that's not what keeps people around. And honestly, a little thank you. Thank you for the hard work that you're doing. Things like that, just appreciating them. That's what gets them to stay. But yeah, in this industry, it's a 200% turnover, which is just atrocious. And so, we used to do, and I think a lot of companies do this, is they do employee of the month awards, right? That's great. We used to do it. And what I found out is over the months, all the employee of the month started to quit and I couldn't figure it out. And by the time I had a chance to talk to them, they were already gone. They went elsewhere. So one of them, complete rock star, she got employee of the month and she put in her 2 weeks notice, but she came and she spoke to me directly. And I said, wait, what's going on? Why are you putting in your 2 week notice? You're a rock star. We're acknowledging you for that. She goes, no, that's great. The problem is I have a target on my back now. What do you mean you have a target? Well, you're singling me out as the one person that did the best job out of everybody. So all the other workers are looking at me as kind of the brown noser, the person that sucked up to everybody. So they're just disgruntled and they won't talk to this person anymore. So I said, okay, we're going to scratch this. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave. Just stay. So I completely scratched it, got rid of the employee of the month. And then I said, what could we do to really honor the employees and get them to stay and not create this resentment? Because that's what it was. And so we thought birthdays, but there's some religions that don't celebrate birthdays, right? So it's like, that's not going to work. People are going to resent some people there. So I figured work anniversaries. You can't take away the hard work that people put in. And so that's kind of how it started. We started giving out plaques and gift cards. And so for every year you've been with us, there's a certain tier. So it might be $100 gift card. It might be a $500 gift card. It might be an Apple Watch. We just hit our first person that's been with us for 11 years. And so I'm not out in the field all the time, but I have to be now because the deal is I will work your entire shift for a whole week and you get a paid week's vacation. And the owner of the company will personally handle your accounts. So they're all kind of excited about that to see me back out in the field. But it's stuff like that. And it's morphed into, we do these at employee meetings and everybody acknowledges that person or multiple people. So when we call their names up, whether it's a year or 11 years, this blew my mind. Spanish speaking, English speaking, we all can't communicate all the time. But these meetings, they're communicating with each other. And when the employee who's getting their anniversary comes up, or multiple employees, everybody stands up and claps. And it's just created this culture that's like, wow, kind of like how I morphed from cleaning to consulting to software. It's just kind of morphed along in the business as well. So it's just amazing to see. And yeah, our turnover is very, very low because of this.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it seems like you've established a very prominent company culture within your company, and you've kind of veered away a little bit from, the regular corporate culture where everybody is, there's, the employee of the week award or employee of the month award, and you've kind of built your own kind of culture in a sense. And people are now rewarded more for staying longer. And they're also simultaneously not singled out as the one that's, doing all the work or taking all handling the whole load of the team. So with that being
Exactly.
said, you're also running a clean company, a consulting business, a software company, and a podcast. So where does that get hard?
I think it's hard every day. No, it's being balanced, it's being organized. And that's kind of the key. I talk to a lot of people and it's like, yeah, how do you do it? There's people that do a lot more than me that are out there that are able to do it. But yeah, it's the key is staying organized. I'm an early riser. So I'm up at 4 a.m, and I have my routine. I'm a routine guy. So I hit the gym, I get the kids ready to go to school, I take them to school, and then I start my day. But I have everything that's already planned out. Does it go as planned? Usually not, but for the most part, I'll stick to what the plan is. And I see this all the time, especially on LinkedIn. You see people that tell you, do the hardest thing first. And honestly, that's what I do and just get it knocked out of the way. And then the rest of your day just becomes easier.
Yeah, for sure. And so you're also not a software guy by background, but you're running a software platform. So how are you actually getting Cinch built and what's on the roadmap that you haven't gotten to yet?
Yeah. I didn't even know what SaaS stood for. in the beginning. I obviously know what it is now. Yeah, no, it's been one of those things where I was lucky enough to find a tech team, and when we first started, it was just myself and one tech guy, kind of putting the stack together. And now we've got a tech team of about 8. We've got a couple people that are taking care of the demos and the customer service. And then, what's happening is things are always changing in this industry. And so what we're doing is we're taking feedback from our customers. I'm taking feedback from my managers, and we're continuously adding into the system. And so there's some systems out there that will work for any service type business. That's not what we're trying to achieve. We're just strictly commercial cleaning. And so, the biggest pain points are commercial cleaning business owners don't know how to bid for profit. And so we have our bidding calculators that are out there. They don't know how to put together a professional proposal that's actually going to capture the attention of who they're giving the proposal to. We put that together. The detailed scopes of work, from the work orders to the inspections. And now we just added, as of this last week, time tracking and payroll. And so you can see where your employees are at any given time. We're basically made for that new commercial cleaning business owner, all the way to even an enterprise company could run this.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, I mean, it sounds like from your direct experience owning a cleaning company and from actually listening to other commercial cleaners as well as getting active feedback from those cleaners, you've built almost a moat around your software service and overall delivered a very good experience for your customers and the new customers that come along.
Because like I said, back in high school when I worked at Sears, it's learning that customer service and really listening to what the customers want. You said it, it's listening, right? And so the worst thing I can tell you is no, but I'm always going to listen to the customers to see what they want, because we've had some of our customers that have given us some really good ideas and we've been able to implement it and they're happy as can be. So it works out both ways.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. And so what does the rest of 2026 look across everything?
Yeah, I mean, we're continuously growing. The commercial cleaning side of things, I have the right people on the bus. And so I don't really have to worry about that. Although I do have to suit up and I have to get out there and clean now that somebody's hit 11-year anniversary. But that's okay. I'm more than happy to do that. But that side of things is running fine. And then again, with the ecosystem, the way it's working is just, from the consulting side of things, and that works and that gets them into Cinch. And then Cinch helps them grow and then they come back to the consulting side. And so it's just really not trying to take on too many more clients on the consulting side, but really to start concentrating on Cinch, going to trade shows to really get the name out there. Because you and I talked before we hopped on here that I spend no money marketing this Cinch whatsoever. I've got a pretty decent sized TikTok following. And so every day I'm throwing out tips and things like that to help commercial cleaning company business owners grow. And I think for me, I like to be known as a trusted advisor. And if they can trust me, because sales is all about trust, right? If you can trust who you're working with, you're more inept to purchase what they have. And so I'm trying to be that trusted advisor. And the more and more I'm out there and they see me, the more they trust me and they end up signing up for the software.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So you've almost created like an entire ecosystem across all of your companies, which is definitely respectable. And it seems like you're almost revolutionizing the commercial cleaning industry. With that being said, I had a quick question about what happens at the 12-year mark.
You know what? I'm not sure actually, but I think it's probably a 2 or 3 week paid vacation. And I think it is. It's a 2-week paid vacation and we send them wherever they want to go for vacation,
Awesome.
them and their
Awesome.
spouse or whoever else. Yeah.
I love it. All right, Edwin, this has been great. So where can people find you? What's your company website and your LinkedIn?
Yeah. So Cinch, it's clean Cinch, CINCH.com. And for me, you can go on TikTok. It's at Cleaning Consultant. And I'm big on LinkedIn as well. You can just search my name up, Edwin Eaton.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us on RevTalks today, Edwin, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Appreciate it, Mason.